Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today we're going to look at a brand new product in the art world. And there aren't too many brand new products these days, so it's kind of fun when we find something that is unique. And this is the newest paper from our sponsor, Ohuhu. It is the Cotton Top Watercolor Pad. And you may be thinking, Lindsay, what is a cotton top watercolor pad? Well, it is a paper that's made with a layer of 100% cotton watercolor paper. Then it's got a middle layer of an absorbent material, and then it's got a bottom layer of wood pulp watercolor paper. So what this aims to do is to give you a luxurious painting experience at a much lower price point. So as you know, 100% cotton watercolor paper can be pricey, and Ohuhu is trying to bring that price down without sacrificing the experience of painting on cotton paper. It's acid-free all the way through, so you don't have to worry about painting on this and then having something go wrong with it because the bottom layer is wood pulp. It has been buffered. So let's take a look at the texture here. These come in 9x12 pads and A4 pads, and you can get either a 20 sheet pad or a 30 sheet pad, and I have the 30 sheet pads here. I want to show you the texture. I'm going to try to catch some shadow and light on this just so we can kind of see what we have for texture there. Can you see that in the shadow? We'll get a little bit of kind of a randomized texture. It's not too mechanical looking, which is nice. It doesn't look like somebody drove a tractor all over our paper. Sometimes you see that with budget papers. And this is the hot press paper. It's kind of got a, it's kind of like a Bristol vellum type texture. It's a little bit more textured than Arch's hot press, but it is definitely still smooth compared to a cold press paper. And these run, the 20 sheet pads are $14.99 and the 30 sheet pads are $19.99, and I do have a 10% off coupon code. So my first experiments with this paper was just to kind of play around with it and see how some of my, usual tests and techniques work. First, I want to check the texture of the paper. So I took a solid rubber stamp and I just stamped down just so I could see like the raised areas versus the valleys of the paper. And I also dragged a dry brush around so I can see the texture because, when we're landscape painting or painting with water, we want to like maybe drag the brush to show the sparkle on the, on the sea. I want to see what that texture would look like. I also used a colored pencil on its edge to see what sort of texture I would get there. So a pretty nice cold press texture. I wouldn't call it rough, but I definitely wouldn't call it hot press. It's definitely a middle of the road cold press paper. And in the hot press, I did the same test. You can see the shadow stamp left more of a solid image. And then we've got our colored pencil texture and brush texture. So much smoother here. Now color-wise, you can see the colors are vibrant on both papers. The hot press is a little bit more vibrant. On the hot press paper, you're going to have a slower drying time, which is going to lend itself to more hard edges and blooms. So if you like that effect, that would be one that you would want the hot press for. You can certainly force blooms on the cold press paper, but if you like that kind of experimental look, that's a good option. Or if you like to paint fairly dry where you're not going to have puddles and you want to do detail like botanical work and whatnot, the hot press would work really well for that. I did some color mixing. Now I accidentally used different blues here. I used a cerulean and a turquoise there. So a phthalo turquoise. So the greens are varied. So don't count the greens against the cold press paper there. Colors are really vibrant. Colors are really vibrant over here. I did a granulation test where I took some granulating colors and in a wet and wet wash. We could see some granulation here. The granulation I don't think showed up really well on the cold press paper, which is a little unusual. It's probably due to the amount of sizing in the paper. It showed up more on the hot press paper actually, but I didn't find that my colors feathered anywhere, so I think it has adequate sizing. It's just not like overly sized or really heavily sized. So if you've ever used really hard sized paper and then your paper stays wet forever, you're not going to have that situation with a cold press here. It's going to dry quicker than the hot press. I would say it's less sized than an Arch's paper for comparison. And then I just did my little quick roses just to see how the colors blended together. You can see you've got more blooms and hard edges on the cold press, and you've got more soft blending on the cold press. Brush control was good on both papers. I did another kind of pattern stamp here just so you can kind of see what you would expect if you like to add mixed media stamping to your work. And then if you like to stamp and color in, like stamp something and watercolor it, you definitely would want to go with a hot press. You're going to get a much cleaner image. Here you do get a passable image there, but you are going to skip in certain areas where you have, the nooks and crannies on the paper. So I was curious as to what would happen if we painted on the back side, because the advertisement on the internet said that you could paint on both sides, so that's what I did here. Oh, I also tried masking fluid, and masking fluid removed very cleanly, no marring to the paper at all. It worked great. Now on the back side, the first thing I noticed is that on the hot press backside, colors were as vibrant, if not more vibrant, than on the cotton side. So this is the wood pulp side we're looking at here. I also noticed way more granulation in my granulation test on the back side, and I got no granulation on my granulation test on the cold press backside. So if you're someone who likes to make sketchbooks, I would go for the hot press paper because you're going to have a great experience on both sides. The texture very similar, stamping very similar, colors are super vibrant on this backside. I thought that was quite remarkable. I think if I had cut this like down into smaller pieces, I wouldn't know what was the front and what was the back of the hot press, but I would definitely be able to notice a difference in the cold press. Also the texture on the cold press, I mean, it looks fairly similar. You can see it's a little bit rougher on the front than it is on the back, and it almost seems like, I don't know, it just seems like more faint, like less textured on the back of the cold press one. So on the wood pulp side, you have a much less textured side. Also, the colors are duller on the back side than on the front side. You know, I just felt like there wasn't as much, I don't know, prettiness or interest on the back side versus the front side. But this is the wood pulp side versus the cotton side, so that kind of makes sense. Although I thought the colors were super vibrant on both sides of the hot press paper, so I was really impressed with that. That was kind of cool. And then I decided to do some tests where I kind of did the same thing on both papers just to kind of see how they differed. I tried to use the same amount of paint and the same amount of everything. Obviously, I'm a human and I can make mistakes, or it's really hard to be perfectly consistent, but I tried. So I did 3 sky studies. I wanted to test lifting. I wanted to test layering. I wanted to see if the paper was going to pill or if it was going to have any problems. And no pilling, lifting was easy, layering was easy. It worked really well, honestly. And then I wanted to try some techniques that are a little bit more advanced. And I thought I wanted to do a controlled wash. So on the hot press paper, I definitely got some streaks with the ultramarine blue controlled wash. And on the cold press paper, I got some streaks, but it was smoother than the hot press paper. And then I decided I was going to try it with a different type of paint. So that was ultramarine blue, which is a sedimentary color, a granulating color. So then I tried it with with my quinacridone rose, which is a staining color, and I went the short way. And that was, I think both of those things made it a little bit smoother of a wash, and the wash on the cold press paper is very smooth. And then I actually decided I'd bring in my Arches hot press and cold press and see how that compared. So there's the Arches hot press and cold press comparatively. Hot press to hot press, cold press to cold press. And I did have a smoother result on Arches than on the Ohuhu paper. I don't know if it's because I'm more used to painting on Arches or just that it's more absorbent. But I did get a better blend on the Arches versus the Ohuhu. But it's also, you know, double to triple the price. So, you know, it's kind of to be expected. And I also tested out the that first Sky demo on the Arches cold press and hot press papers just to see, and I found those to be very similar in use. And then I did my little roses just to test, and I'll bring those back so you can see on the cotton side here. This was the cold press, and then the hot press, and of course variants because, you know, I'm a person painting this on different days. But I didn't find them. I do. Arches is just a pretty paper. The colors always look nice on Arches paper. So I do think maybe I give them a little edge on the roses as well. But again, double to triple the price. So you have to determine whether that's worth it to you or not. And then I did some salt. Salt worked fine. Like obviously it probably would. And then on the, I decided to wet the paper and then just do a gradient, just do stripes of color and just leave it alone and see how it blends. And the cold press blended pretty well. The hot press blended well, but I did get some back runs, which was to be expected. I didn't try to blend them. I just kind of laid down the stripes and let them go, let them see what they wanted to do. And then I tried a wax resist. The wax resist grabbed a little bit better on the cold press paper. It worked. I feel like you might have to press a little bit harder. This was just a white crayon, white Crayola crayon that I used. but it certainly worked. But the technique I think that worked the best on this paper, and this was kind of one of those where I was like, oh, I hope masking tape works, because that's really kind of the proof is in the pudding type thing. I did masking tape and then I soaked the back of that paper, and the tape came off cleanly, no seepage underneath. I did tear the tape before I put it down, because I like to do that when I'm making trees. And I do have a little bit of a rough edge where I tore the tape. That's to be expected, but I was really impressed with how there's no marring on the paper. I think the hot press worked a little bit better. The hot press is a more sized paper between the two. I did get a little bit of a tear up here off of the border where I had pressed the tape down, or maybe I still have some tape. Oh, actually, no, I didn't. I didn't get that. Was just tape that I left behind. Nope, no tearing whatsoever. And the masking fluid came off really easily. So to me, those are all, they passed. It passed all the tests. Now, I did try to delaminate the paper a bit and pull it apart. And I don't know what that proves. I don't know what that proves at all. But so this would be the cotton, this would be the wood, and I guess the absorbent stuff is what's in between. I don't know how they make this. I've never heard of anything like this, but I thought that was really interesting. So let's look at how the prices break down. Oh, one other thing I wanted to try was I wanted to try the Meeden cold press to see how that gradient wash, not a gradient, I'm sorry, a controlled wash would work on the Meeden versus the Arches and the Ohuhu. It's kind of somewhere in the middle, but the price is kind of in the middle too, so I'm not too surprised. This is about $1 to $1.20 a sheet. The Arches is around $1.67 to $2.72 a sheet. The Ohuhu and the 20 sheet pads is 75 cents a sheet if you pay full price, or 65 cents a sheet if you buy it with my discount. So that's $14.99 or $13 a pad, depending on, you know, if you use my discount or not. The Ohuhu 30 sheet pads are $19.99 or $18 with my discount. So that brings it to 67 cents or 60 cents with a discount. So you're looking at, yeah, actually kind of like a quarter of the price of Arches in some respects, depending on where you're buying your Arches paper. And I do like that it comes in big pads instead of like the 12, because Arches comes in a 12 sheet pad for between $20 and $35, depending on where you buy it. You get 20 sheets for $14.99 or 30 sheets for $19.99 without a discount, full price. And Ohuhu tends to run sales, so I think this is going to get even more affordable as the paper's been around for a while. So third of the price, I would say 90% of the utility. The only thing I saw that I thought was a little bit less with the Ohuhu paper versus working on Arches, and I'm talking about working on the front side, was the controlled wash and a little bit on the flowers, but I think that could also be attributed to the being a human and painting it, you know, at separate times. But all in all, I think it's definitely worth taking a look at, especially if you're a teacher and you're looking to bring some nice quality papers for your students without breaking the bank. Those 30 sheet pads bring the price down so that you are getting a really great product. The only thing that as a teacher you might want to be aware of is there is a front and a back. Like we talked, this is a cotton top paper, so only one side of this paper is cotton. You are going to want to make sure you somehow, if you're going to take these sheets off the pad, you somehow mark the front sheet, because to a novice or student, they might not be able to detect the difference in texture from the front and the back. And if you're getting the cold press paper, there is definitely a difference. Hot press, both sides are pretty freaking awesome. I'm going to put links to this paper in the video description. I want to thank Ohuhu for sponsoring this video. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll help you if I can. And as always, thanks for watching. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.